couple weeks back, Gina Carano got the news of a lifetime that a California federal judge had sided with her in regards to her lawsuit. Her defamation, wrongful termination lawsuit against Disney would be able to proceed by doing away with the motion to dismiss from Disney. Remember, they tried to cite freedom of speech. Freedom of speech, can you believe that? In regards to them having justification for firing Gina Carano back in late 2021. I think that was the time frame on that one. But no, we're going to be heading to trial, guys, and that was very, very good news because we knew that there's going to be a lot of information to come out on this one. Would she ultimately win the case? Defamation suits are legendary for their difficulty to prove and win. Many legal pundits have opined on this subject, and to be completely honest, Gina has a good case. Okay, she's got a pretty good case, especially when she has contemporaries that are out there that you can juxtapose her to, where she would just simply post a couple of innocuous memes. Meanwhile, you would have literal co-stars advocate for violence. One ends up getting punished, and the other one, well, I don't know, just grunts into a helmet, and people love it because we got the little baby Yoda. But let's do a refresher course before we get to some of the newer developments. Gina Carano beats Disney's move to kill Mandalorian firing suit. Trial looms. Unless you want to go another round, one of us is going to have to leave. And I was here first. Gina Carano's former rebel shock trooper Cara Dune says in season 1 of Disney Plus's The Mandalorian. Those scripted words from the ex-MMA fighter have an added resonance today, as Disney failed to get Carano's discrimination lawsuit over 2021 firing from Star Wars series dismissed. Defendants have not identified any evidence in the complaint or otherwise to substantiate a claim that they employ public-facing actors for the purpose of promoting the values of respect, decency, integrity, or inclusion. California-based Judge Sherilyn Peace Garnett asserted Wednesday in an order kneecapping Disney's moves to see Carano's legal action tossed. So then at the time we knew that, oh boy, that means discovery. That means depositions are going to be on the horizon because we're going to trial, brother. We also knew that Disney was going to try to throw a boatload of money at Carano in order to get this lawsuit settled toot sweet. But if you know anything about Gina, she's made a fair amount of money in her career, just in acting. MMA, probably, given the fact that she was the pioneer in the sport, okay? She was legitimately good. She legitimately put the sport on the map. What it's become, well, she can't really do too much about it, but she also successfully transitioned into a legitimate female ass-kicker role that Hollywood has been wanting to push for a long time. She legitimized that, and because she, darn it, just has even just somewhat conservative values, they took any opportunity to excise her from the industry. Here's the thing, instead of trying to phase her out, instead of trying to kneecap her, one of those poorly written Star Wars D+ shows, they ended up letting the activists run the asylum, landing them in this lawsuit territory. And as such, we're heading to trial. We're going to be getting discovery, and we're also going to be getting depositions. And Carano has laid out a couple of people that she wants to hear from. Gina Carano calls for Pedro Pascal, Kathleen Kennedy, and Bob Iger as well to testify over Mandalorian firing. Now, here's the thing, right? Because this is a civil lawsuit, all that jam. There's nobody can be subpoenaed. Nobody can be forced to testify. This is also Disney's reputation on the line. There could be a pressure campaign, and we could actually get all of these people on camera exposing how big of an activist they actually are behind the scenes. So this might seem lofty. This might seem a little bit too good to be true. It also could be reality. Gina Carano's legal battle over firing from The Mandalorian could feature a star-studded cast of witnesses, including Pedro Pascal, Jon Favreau, and ex-Disney chief Bob Chapek. Okay. In a joint filing for the ex-MMA fighter and Disney Corporation, Carano pointed to those names as potential witnesses that could be called to testify in her case. She also included Bear Grylls, Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy, and Lynn Hale, the engineer of the publicity campaign behind Star Wars. That one could be that out of all the people. I'd be interested to see her communications behind the scenes, and especially anything that Kathleen Kennedy gets roped into, because we've heard stories about her. July 26th court document previews issues that will be raised at trial, tentatively scheduled for the September 25th, 2025, such as whether Carano was under contract on February 10th, 2021, very much was, and there was definitely other plans for her to be starring in Disney Plus spin-off shows, okay, Rangers of the New Republic, I think that's what it was called. No, when Disney purportedly terminated her contract for voicing right-wing opinions, by posting memes that said, hey, remember when the government was turning neighbor against neighbor? Yeah, we probably shouldn't go down that line, and then she ended up getting painted as a right-wing bigot. Yeah, okay, whatever, bro. Another contested issue is whether Carano was treated differently than her male co-stars, which is probably why Pedro Pascal is going to be called in for deposition, because he actually posted far more spicy stuff on the regular. In her lawsuit filed in February, she alleged that Disney and Lucasfilm turned a blind eye to others who she said made offensive and denigrating posts directed towards Republicans. I mean, as she pointed to Pedro Pascal's 2017 post comparing, Trump to the Austrian mustache man. Anybody voting for him, was legitimizing the rise of the Fourth Reich or whatever. Other posts from Pascal cited in the lawsuit, including one of him comparing the United States response to those entering the country illegally to concentration camps. Mandalorian creator Jon Favreau, meanwhile, would presumably be called to testify on whether Disney greenlit plans for a new spin-off titled Rangers of the New Republic. I actually did get that right. Yes, well, there's screenshots, okay? Back when Disney used to do the big grids of here's our plan, here's what we're going to be doing. So there we have the Acolyte, there we have Obi-Wan Kenobi, we also have season 3 of the Mandalorian scheduled, and the Rangers of the New Republic starring Cara Dune. Yeah, that would have featured Cara Dune as one of its lead characters. Kennedy in 2020 confirmed production of the title. Yeah, that was at either Star Wars Celebration or D23. I don't remember. Grills may be called to testify over allegations that Disney pulled an episode of Running Wild with Bear Grylls that featured Carano after she was terminated. Oh, okay, interesting. In the filing, Disney pushed back on Carano's list of witnesses while saying that it may call Lucas VP Animation and Live Action Development Carrie Beck, Disney Executive VP of Communications Paul Roeder to testify. Well, yeah, okay, whatever. The development comes after a federal judge last week rebuffed Disney's bid to dismiss the lawsuit. U.S. District Judge Sherilyn Peace Garnett rejected the arguments that Carano's discrimination claims are barred by the First Amendment, finding that the actress may have been terminated from the series in retaliation to holding disfavored political beliefs, within the entire industry. And it wasn't even that spicy, man. Like, she's been more spicy with her do not comply crap and also posting naked selfies on Instagram. It's like, come on, stop being a thought, for Christ's sakes. And no, she reposted a meme on Instagram that was so egregious it required Disney to make one of the dumbest Star Wars related decisions in recent years. That's quite a lengthy list, but this one could end up costing them the most. You would think the Acolyte was the biggest loss leader, but brother, you ain't seen nothing yet. With her ousting from the Star Wars universe, Carano potentially lost out on millions of dollars. Well, yeah, I mean, she was also, unironically, one of the most popular new Star Wars characters. Like, people actually liked Cara Dune. People were actually buying her action figure. She was gonna spin off a show from the stupid Mandalorian. Standard contract for a series regular on other spin-offs is for roughly 6 years at a base salary of $150,000 to $250,000 per episode, with each season consisting of up to 10 episodes. But also, as we've seen with Star Wars, they're like between 6 and 8 episodes. So even still, she would have got millions of dollars for a season of work, guest spots on The Mandalorian, probably even a bigger role with the unfortunate passing of Carl Weathers. Like, let's just war game this all out. She was set up to be a huge deal within Star Wars. Then Kathleen Kennedy and the overwhelming number of activists over at Lucasfilm couldn't handle somebody with dishwater hot political takes that didn't align with theirs. They let ideology override common sense, which at this point in time is anybody shocked at? But as we know, we're not going to get to trial until at least this time next year. It's going to be a long run up to this stuff, and this witness list is going to change. We might get some leaked depositions. We might get a little bit of discovery come out between now and then, but as long as this continues to go forward, as long as Gina Carano and Elon Musk, her benefactor, are willing to keep up with this fight, this is going to be good. And 2025 is shaking up to be an even worse year for Disney in comparison to 2023 than anybody could have thought possible. Can't wait. I can't wait for this stuff to heat up. Because as far as I can tell, Gina was done incredibly dirty. And it's time to pay that piper. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.